Welcome to Future of Flushing. I'm Vito Calisi. With me is Jonathan Barron as always, but not as always, Christian Scott of the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Christian, you're off to an amazing start so far. I mean, you've already gotten called up to Binghamton. You've had two incredible starts there so far. Do you want to tell us what's going through your mind so far and how's this year been for you?
Yeah, first, thank you guys for having me on. But I would say definitely just being more consistent with my routine. I'd say the day-to-day routine, being able to take one day and build it into the next one and just kind of stack good days on top of each other, not really look too much about the bigger picture. I'd say early on in my career, I was kind of focusing on, okay, what does tomorrow look like? What does the next day look like? And trying to just stay where my feet are and take it day by day for sure.
Now, Christian, you were taken by the Mets, 5th round, 2021 draft. Walk us through that draft process, how excited you were to hear the Mets call your name, and what your experience has been like in the Mets player development system to this point.
Yeah, it's been awesome, really. I mean, I got to spend the time at the draft a little bit with my family, which was nice. My dad was there, mom was there, everybody was there. So to be able to share that moment with them, they've really been the guiding factor for me for my career. So being able to share that with them is really special for me and my family. The Mets have been great. I mean, just being able to learn a lot from the pitching development side, even from the first day I got there, just really trying to soak up as much information as I possibly can. Our draft class has really done a great job so far, being able to really competing at a high level, just being able to learn from them day by day. Like Mike Vassal's been throwing great. Grant just made his debut in the big leagues. Dom's been up here. So just being able to take little pieces from each other and just kind of build on each other for sure.
Now, you played your college ball at University of Florida. What was your experience like playing in Gainesville for the Gators? Obviously a baseball powerhouse in the collegiate ranks.
Very intense for sure. Like definitely every single day is kind of show up to the field. Somebody's trying to take your job. So definitely I'd say the competitive spirit of it for sure, especially now with the transfer portal. We didn't have the transfer portal when I was in school, so you kind of knew you were kind of going to be there unless you wanted to sit out a year or redshirt a year. But so then it was a little different as it is now, but it was definitely the team was awesome. I mean, it was a great group of guys. We really all had each other's backs. A couple of the guys that I still play with are still there, so hopefully they can bring home the ring and it'll be awesome for them. So being able to really see that. Wyatt Langford's another cool example. He's worked so hard for so long. He first got there, he was catching bullpens for us his freshman year. So being able to come now be a top 3 pick is something that's incredible for him and really happy for him.
John, I feel like this is the nicest background anybody's ever had, and I had to draw attention to it. I mean, like, this isn't a green screen. It's a little distracting. Like, I can't stop looking at this beautiful cloudy sky behind you.
Wait, that's real? That's not real. Like a preset?
Yeah, we're right outside the hotel right now.
Man, I got to get to Akron, Ohio. I'm missing out.
So, Christian, while Narvaez was rehabbing, you said he was a huge help to you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how much of a help he is and how important it was getting to know him and what you kind of worked on with him?
Yeah, I mean, for me, coming from Florida, Silly calls all of our pitches at Florida. So we're really, like, in terms of pitch calling, we didn't really use it in college. So coming here the first year pro ball, I did struggle with that a little bit, figuring out what pitches to throw and what counts. And kind of with the big league catcher, Narvaez obviously being in the show all-star, just kind of learning like what counts to throw my pitches in. And he had a perfect example was I was in like a 2-0 count and I haven't really had confidence with my changeup since pro ball and he calls it 2-0 and I was like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like if he has that confidence in that pitch, I'm gonna have confidence in that pitch. So kind of taking what he thinks of my arsenal and trying to use it to the best of my advantage.
How important is that pitcher-catcher relationship to you?
I think it's huge. I mean, being able to be on the same page, like I think it really feeds off to the rest of the defense because if you guys are on the same page and you guys are competing, working fast, I think the defense is gonna play great behind you. So it's just kind of feeding into one another. It's all 9 of us out on the field. I can't do my job without anybody else out there. So, I mean, just being able to build off them and hopefully the defense can build off of me.
And while you were in Brooklyn, what was it like working with Kevin Parada while he was having his first year in the Mets system?
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he's still learning a lot. I mean, but for sure he's a really talented guy. I mean, he's going to hit at all levels for sure. So being able to really take that defensive part of his game, he's continuing to work on it, continue to get his arm strength up. And I think I've definitely seen progression with him for sure. And I think he's going to be a great one to watch.
Now, you just talked about your pitch arsenal. For Mets fans who haven't had a chance to watch you, how would you describe your game, your pitch mix, what you bring to the mound on any given night?
In college, I was really a 2-seam slider guy. I didn't have a changeup, so I was kind of focused on those 2 pitches. And when I got here, we switched it to a 4-seam fastball. So I throw a 4-seam fastball now. I have a slider, and I've incorporated a changeup and a curveball to my arsenal. So instead of 2 pitches, I've got 4 now. I really like to use the changeup. I mean, that's been the biggest pitch for me this year, I would say, and not having it at all, really since high school. So being able to really throw it now and have confidence in it, conviction in it, like I said, in like 2-0 counts, be able to throw for a strike, I think that's really been the pitch for me so far this year that's been able to give me success.
And you're a Florida kid, born and bred.
Yeah.
Who are some pitchers that you grew up watching, admiring, and who are some guys that maybe you could loosely compare yourself to that are in the major leagues right now?
I would say Jose Fernandez. I watched a lot growing up in Miami. He was definitely like someone to really keep your, like, every time that he went out, everybody in the Marlins stadium would be packed. Usually there's not many people there, but when he went out to pitch, that place was full and everybody's excited to watch him throw. And so for me, as someone younger, I really like to see like how he was able to control the game, control the crowd. Like he had control of the entire game when he was out there. So being able to see something like that growing up in Miami, that was really awesome to watch for sure.
You went from a reliever to a starter. What's the training program to get your endurance up so you can go from just going 1 or 2 innings to a whole game?
I mean, the routine's different. I mean, for me in college, I'd be getting warm or getting loose in the bullpen like 3 or 4 times a week. So being able to really manage that workload, now I feel like it's a little bit less wear and tear on the body as a starter because you kind of know ahead of time when you're going to throw. There'd be times when I was in college where I'd throw Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So being able to really keep the body ready. I'd say the workouts are more structured around stamina, I would say, not as much as peak force, because when you're a reliever, you're kind of going out, blowing it as hard as you can, like you're not really too worried about going through the lineup 2 or 3 times. But as a starter, you really have to learn from every at-bat that you have. So like if the leadoff guy, say, he's seen your fastball pretty well, so now you take that into the next at-bat, and you're like, okay, well, he saw that pretty well, so now I need to make an adjustment. But as a reliever, you're not really too worried about that.
And going off of that, your last 2 starts with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies since your promotion have been the longest starts of your pro career. So how have you felt after, as you've kind of continued to advance that benchmark for the longest starts that you've had as a pro?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've done a pretty good job with my routine throughout the week to be able to keep my body feeling healthy. I know I've struggled with injuries previously, as a pro, missed a lot of spring training because of one, but I'd say for sure being able to take the experiences that I've learned from the Mets and our staff here has been great to be able to really take my routine and keep my body in the best shape possible. I mean, my goal is to go out there, give 6-7 strong innings, keep my velo where it's at, and as long as that's going well, I think my stuff will take care of itself.
And one of those 2 starts was your debut in Binghamton on your birthday.
Yeah.
What's it like having a debut on your birthday? Because John and I were talking about that. Seems like a really rare thing.
Yeah. It's what's interesting too is I was also a Red Sox fan growing up, so I was able to throw against their high affiliate. So my dad called me after, he was fired up, so it was really cool to be able to experience that as with my family, just because I went to Red Sox World Series games when I was younger, so you're like, hey, AA on my birthday with the Red Sox. I was also throwing to my college catcher, Nathan Hickey. He was in the opponent batter's box too. To be able to get him to swing through a few fastballs was nice for sure, but being able to really take that experience and be able to share with my family was awesome.
And how did you become a Red Sox fan living in Florida?
My mom's from Boston and my dad's from the Northeast area, so they kind of got me going with the Red Sox fandom pretty early on.
So, Christian, we had a conversation last night after your start. Vito and I were debating, and we had to bring it up to you. So we want to know, do you believe in jinxes or not?
I don't believe in jinxes.
Okay, that's great. So now that opens up the floodgates. I can answer this question. You've allowed just 1 home run this year and 3 home runs going back to last season. And Vito was saying you shouldn't bring it up because if he allows a home run his next time out, he's never going to talk to us again. So please don't let that be the case if you do allow one.
I got you.
You've already done a great job limiting the long ball. But how have you done such a good job limiting the long ball? And on the other end of it, inducing so many ground balls, your ground ball rate since your promotion is 56% with the Rumble Ponies.
Mm-hmm. I'd say I think we do a great job, like as a unit and as a staff with scouting reports. I think that we kind of know ahead of time like what hitters are good at and what they're not good at, and hitters know what we're good at and what we're not good at. So being able to really take it as almost like a chess match and kind of decide what we want to throw in different counts, and make the best pitch I possibly can. If they get me, they get me. But if I'm going to do everything in my power to be able to make sure that they have weak contact, and so far so well. So.
You said earlier that going from a reliever to a starter, you're figuring out how not to do max effort, but I also saw you increased your velocity from 93 to 98 on your fastball. How do those two go hand in hand together when they seem like they work against each other?
It's a lot of work in the off season, I would say. I went to the fall league and kind of got it handed to me a little bit. So really be able to take that experience and learn from it, I would say, was definitely big for me this off season. You know, as a younger guy going to experience that, there's a lot of talent. So being able to go out there, it was great to be able to be around a great group of coaches, great group of guys to be able to learn from and really soak in as much information as I could. And I really took into this off season with the purpose of I got to be better. You know, like I can't go out there continually give up runs, continually to put my team in a bad spot. So being able to really use that, really incorporate a lot of work on my lower half, being able to maintain velo that way, you know, not really putting too much strain on my arm, but really using the rest of my body the best of my ability.
You've already pitched at 3 levels this season, hopefully a 4th coming. Yep. Compare and contrast the different levels and what you have to do in your head as you face new hitters in a new league, and how challenging that can be for a young pitcher as he takes on uncharted waters.
I'd say the biggest thing is just familiarity with the hitters, I would say, because last year I was really with low A and high A only, so I was able to, we maybe faced a team 2 or 3 times that I was able to face against, like examples with the Hudson Valley Renegades. Like I faced a lot of those guys in low A, so being able to know a little bit about their swings, a little bit about their approaches, be able to take that into the next level and face them here. And so the same thing with Somerset too with the Patriots. So being able to, I've seen a lot of these guys already, so they've also seen me. So being able to know, kind of have a game plan a little bit about what going into the game, what you want to do.
Now, we mentioned before that you did have your debut on your AA debut on your birthday. We heard from Matt Rudick, you guys went to Fleming's after. And he told us about you that the kid could eat. He said he said that you went to town at Fleming's. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that meal?
You know, I haven't really had a nice steak in a while, so I figured might as well get a 20-ounce ribeye in while I'm here. And if you're going to go to Fleming's, you might as well go all in. So got myself a nice little steak, some lobster. So it was nice to be able to go with the team.
Wow. I mean, you guys have now won 10 of your last 14. Obviously, that goes back prior to your promotion. But how much fun are you guys having just playing such good ball? It seems like the camaraderie, the vibes are in a great spot. What's going on in the Rumble Pony clubhouse right now?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, Moreno's been throwing great too in front of me. Like being able to, she strikes out 10 the day before me. So we're really trying to carry momentum into each game, you know, like when a starter's setting the tone like that, being able to save the bullpen for some games, I'm just trying to build off of each other. And I feel like we're all doing a really good job of putting each other in really good positions to succeed.
Who's the funniest guy in the clubhouse?
I'd say Moreno, actually. Moreno's a pretty funny guy. Yeah, you'll get that. A lot of the Latin guys, I asked a lot of Latin guys, and every answer is Moreno. So I got a lot of clubhouse guy.
So last night while I was watching your game, I noticed that the Rubber Ducks were playing a game called Mail Carrier or Dead. It blew me away. Yeah. Now, since you're a pitcher, there's obviously a lot of games where you're sitting on the side, you're watching what's going on. What's the wildest thing you've seen at a minor league club?
Oof. So last year with the Cyclones, we had a marriage proposal go wrong. So I was right there with the whole dugout just dropped on the ground. So we had no idea what was going on. But after we did figure out it was fake. So
yeah, they're like professional scammers who did that. That was like a big deal they do it at a lot of places, and apparently no one's caught on.
Yeah, because we looked up later and we found out she was a comedian. So we were like, oh, like they got us. But yeah, it was funny because our announcer King Henry also had no idea. So he was just as bamboozled as we were. So
John loves King Henry. John and I went to a Cyclones game a few weeks ago. John was amazed by the King. Every time he came out, kid was pumped.
Yeah, gets the crowd going. I love it every time.
Now, where did you stand on Mail Carrier or Dead? I mean, Vito and I were talking about it last night, and we thought that those are two very opposite ends of the spectrum.
We're not prudish, but we were pretty
there. Maybe too much. Where did you stand on that?
We were appalled, to be honest.
I didn't hear too much about it going on, but I did hear over the microphone while I was warming up somebody yell, "Oh, dead!" I was like, "What's going on?" So yeah, that caught my attention a little bit, but other than that, I didn't really know what was going on. I was pretty locked in on what was the job at hand.
Back to some baseball talk. Tyler Stewart on the Cyclones, also somebody who's been shifted around positions a few times. Yeah. Were you guys able to bond at all and talk about what it's like to get shifted around like that?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he's having a lot of success, obviously, early on. So, I mean, he's really being able to use his stuff to the best of his ability. Absolutely. I mean, being able to go deep in starts is awesome for him, especially being a reliever out of college. You know, being able to take he's big body, big guy. So being able to take that and really use it to the best of his ability and go late into games, giving up pretty much no runs for the most part. You know, I made a joke with him a couple days ago that he went 6 innings, gave up 1, his ERA went up. So I was like, that's, you're going well when you have a start like that and your ERA goes up. So I'm just really happy for him, and I'm sure I'll see him here soon.
As many Met fans know, Tyler Stewart, 6'9", yourself, you're 6'4".
Yeah.
Junior Santos, another tall guy on the staff there in Binghamton. So I want to know, how do you use your height on the mound to an advantage against the opposing batters?
I would say using leverage for sure, especially with the backside, being able to stay strong on the backside and not really collapse down the mound too much, because if you collapse down the mound too much, you really lose a lot of that height to really unneeded force type thing. So being able to really stay on top of the ball, be able to use the low approach angle with my arm action, and just try to really use the lower half as the best of my ability.
What are a few things you'd like Mets fans to know about Christian Scott?
Huge hockey fan, actually.
Really? You know what?
Hockey fan, yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm a big hockey fan too.
Really?
And I stalked your Twitter.
Yeah.
And so it was a great run.
Yeah,
Why do you tell the people who you're a fan of, and then we can do some Cats talk?
I'm a fan of the Florida Panthers. I've been a fan growing up. I went to games ever since I was little. My dad's always taken me. So, just being able to see them go on this runs was awesome, because they've been pretty bad since I was young. So being able to have this was nice for sure.
So you went Boston Red Sox, but you didn't take Bruins with you.
Yeah, my mom's actually took the Bruins with her. So that was, watching that playoff series with her was interesting for sure.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we got a little in-house rivalry going on, which is fun.
So who are your favorite Panthers? I'm obviously a big Chucky guy, huge Barkov guy going back to his draft year. Yeah. Love Aaron Ekblad. I think Aaron Ekblad is top 5 defenseman in the league. Yeah. I know a lot of people think it's a hot take, but I think Aaron Ekblad is that dude. Who are some of your favorite Panthers?
I'm a big Barkov guy for sure. Yeah. Obviously Roberto Luongo, growing up, him in net was awesome. You want to have that stone in net. Another throwback was Olli Jokinen back with the Panthers from the first couple days with the franchise. So being able to really watch those guys and see them compete and see them around at Publix too has been awesome. So it's been nice.
Well, when I saw that you were retweeting all the Panther stuff during the run, I was like, this is my guy, and I got to talk to cat hockey with him, and I totally forgot. So thank you for bringing that up. I would have been kicking myself had we not gotten it in the interview here at all.
John went to the All-Star game when we were working at spring training.
I
did. He did buy a $50 puck.
Nice.
I did. I also used to work for the Marlins in a capacity, and this was in 2014-15, so not a good time at the BB&T Center as it was known back then. I probably went to like 6 or 7 Panthers games. I was at Yager's Panthers home debut.
Nice.
Had to get the jersey. How could you not?
Yeah,
rock that thing with pride. Rock that thing after they knocked out Toronto the next morning. So go Cats, baby. I'm with it.
Cats. I love it.
But what else? Aside from the Panthers, what else should Met fans know about you?
My high school team, actually, I had a couple, like Joe Girardi's son played on my high school team. Pedro Martinez's son played on my high school team. So being able to really be around those big leaguers, especially early on at a young age, was really awesome. I'd have Pedro sit in and maybe watch a bullpen or two. He tried to teach me his changeup, but his hands are quite a bit bigger than mine, so it didn't really work out as well. But yeah, being able to really just have that clubhouse type feel and really have that pro feel, especially in high school, was awesome.
Did you get a chance to speak to Pedro after you got drafted by the Mets?
I have not. No, I did not get to speak to him.
Did he show you that thing he could do with his wrist where he can bend it in any which way and it makes no sense at all?
He's got the most flexible hands I've ever seen. Like, he can bend his fingers all the way backwards. It's really, really impressive.
So as we gear up for July and the rest of the season, we want to know, what are some of your goals moving forward for the rest of 2023?
I'd say just keep stacking good days, really. Just put my team in the best position to win games. Just when we're winning, obviously the individual part's going pretty well as well if you're winning games. So being able to definitely take that mindset into really the rest of the second half and being able to, just compete at whatever level, whatever team I'm on, just doing the best that I possibly can to put my team in the best position to win.
And when that debut at Citi Field comes, what's the song you're going to be warming up to?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm not sure yet, but I've been bumping a lot of Kodak Black as my walkout since college, so I might have to do that one. I'm not for sure yet, though.
All right, well, think about it, and we can't wait to hear that song whenever the time does come.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Christian, thanks so much for joining us today. We've been loving watching you pitch over this season. You can follow Christian Scott on Twitter at CHScott8. And thanks again, Christian. We'll see you in Queens.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.